Hey guys, hello. Do me a favor, let me know where you're watching from as you come in. Come on into the room, check in, let me know where you guys are watching from. I'm going to get on my phone really quickly so I can pin the comment. I want to check in with you guys again today. I went live the other day and I told you guys I was going to go live again today. So I wanted to make sure I do that. You guys can come into the room, check in. Hey, So Better, Jasmine from Texas. Hey, Jasmine. Let me switch this over here so I can pin. Do me a favor, guys, when you come into the room, as you let me know where you are watching from, make sure, let me know in the comments if you can hear me. I just want to make sure my sound is working because one time I was live and nobody could hear me. Hey, Supreme Green from DC. Are you in DC too? I'm in DC too for now. Hey, Bree from Las Vegas. Guys, let me know as you are coming in. I'm trying to go to my phone, so I want to pin. I'm trying to find this video so I can pin a comment in the comments. Oops, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Channel, here it is. Okay, let me pin it here. Put the comment there, and then let me. How do I pin it? Hold on, guys. I'll be right there. I'm trying to pin this comment. It's a link, so every time I click on it to pin it, it tries to take me to the link. Oh, I hate when this happens. But anyway, guys, let me see where you guys are. Let me go back to the comments. Let me go ahead and hide this banner. Continue to let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me go back to the comments here. Okay, so you guys can hear me. Okay, perfect. Okay. Is that Bree? That's Bree. Okay, Bree. Okay. Watching from Virginia. Okay. Hey, Tamara. Is it Tamara or Tamara? Hey, Katu. Hey guys, I'm just checking in from New York. Okay, I would like to move closer to the East Coast for work. So where are you now? Let me see. Let me go back to your comment. You did put where you are. Oh, you in Texas. Honestly, to be honest, when I was doing some research, So Better, and this is just from what I was looking at. I'm not speaking in general and for everybody, but Texas was on my list of possible relocations, of possible states to relocate to before I decided on where I'm going to actually relocate to. And I didn't notice a big old difference between Texas and DC as far as pay. I mean, obviously DC was a little more because of the cost of living. So you got to kind of look at that too. And that's for anybody that wants to relocate. Like, I know a lot of people talk about it, but you got to think about the cost of living as well. That if you do come this way, I mean, I don't know if you're thinking about DC, but just in general, when you come up, I know it's going to, the cost of living is going to go up too. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Memphis, Tennessee, Virginia, Indiana. Good question. Are you going to post any updated CCMA practice? I take my CCMA on 210. So I don't know if I'm going to post anything before then, Bree. I can try, but I can't say for sure. But I just want to remind you guys that all of the videos that I have is updated. So all of the information in all of my videos is updated because they all ask the same type of questions. For those of you that watch me all the time, you probably hear me say this all the time. But just remember, guys, you always have to know the same type of information. Okay, so the videos, the type of questions that I'm going over, order, draw, terminology, anatomy, and all of that, none of that changes. So if there's anybody watching and you're wondering whether my older videos are for the current test, the answer is yes. But yes, I will eventually do more videos, Bree, definitely. Do me a favor, guys, and like the video as you come into the room. Avid, what is that? Avid Milk Hater. That's a cute name. Just stopping by to say thank you again. I've been a CCMA for about a year now. You helped me so much. All right, congratulations, and no problem at all. I love doing this. Flawless says, I love your videos. Thank you, Flawless. So Better says, I'm using MA as a stepping stone until I get out of school for my social work degree later. That's awesome. So one of the things that I ask my students on the very first day of class, whenever I get a new class, I always say, what made you want to become an MA? And the majority of people, their reason is to use it as a stepping stone. And I love that, because when you become an MA, when you work as an MA and then you work your way up, you're able to have more compassion and more empathy for MAs, because you understand what it's like to work as an MA. If you guys didn't already check out my video, I had a friend of mine, she's a nurse practitioner now, and she and I started together as MAs, and she worked as an MA, then she moved up to RN, and now she's a nurse practitioner. And because she's gone through those, she's worked all of those different positions, she's able to, just kind of relate. And, sometimes I don't think some providers realize how much work they probably put on us sometimes. And because she has that experience, she understands that, she just understands from our perspective that it can be a lot of work for one person sometimes. So, and I know you're going to the social work route, not provider route, but it's just still important to have that experience. So I love that. Even when I hear students say, well, I was a CNA first, and I want to do MA, then I want to become RN, or, whatever. I love to see that, matriculation through the different pathways. Thank you. They are so helpful. Myself and classmates watch them all the time. Awesome. For those of you that's in school, make sure y'all put your classmates on. Hey, Shania. Oh, speaking of somebody in school, Shania says currently in school. Shania, make sure you put your classmates on to my videos. Oh, guys, I didn't even think about this. Actually, I think I'm gonna do a separate video talking about this. But for those of you that are in school, if your school does not offer the study material, or maybe they do, but it's very expensive, let your school know about my MA refresher course. I do have it listed on the screen. This is for anybody that needs study material, but I have multiple schools that I work with that use my MA refresher course as a study guide for the test. And I'm trying to just get in contact with more schools. Like, I want to get my MA refresher course in as many schools as possible. So if you guys, can mention it to your school, or maybe, if you know somebody that's in school, and then also, if you want to be an affiliate, you can also get a commission. So let's say you refer somebody to my MA refresher course. You like, listen, especially for those of you that already use my course, you definitely want to be an affiliate, get some of your money back. But you can get an affiliate link. And when you send people your link and they get the course, you get a commission. And the platform that I use, they pay you monthly. So I have I have multiple affiliates, but I have this one guy. He sells so many of my courses, so he's always getting commission because he's always promoting it, and people use his link. So that's an option too. Speaking to people that's in school. Flawless said, your blood pressure video helped me understand how to read the meter. I'm glad to know that, Flawless, because that's one of the things that people struggle with the most is blood pressure. That's one of the things that I struggle with the most. So I'm glad. I'm going to do an updated video as well on that, because the meter was uncalibrated. I didn't even notice that until the video. People keep pointing it out. I said, let me just do an updated video. So I'm gonna do an updated video. Hey, Jasmine, I'm glad you made it. Shania says, how much is it? I'm currently taking a class but having a problem retaining information because it's fast paced. So my MA refresher course is $27, but I do about access. So 3-month access is $27. And then 6-month access is $80. And the reason why I do it like that is because I wanted to make it like super affordable. And just to give yourself time. So if you're like, I only need 3 months to prepare, then you're good. And some people feel like they may need 6 months to prepare. And then the quizzes and tests that I have on there, you can always get them reset. People just send an email and then we reset the quizzes and the practice tests for you. But yeah, it's only $27. Is that Fatil? Says my NHA exam is on Saturday. Any tips? So I have a playlist on the channel. It's called Study Tips. But just to give you just a few tips right now, just make sure you have if you don't already, Fatil, because your test is coming up very, very soon. You want to make sure you have the test plan. So you taking an NHA, So go to your NHA website. There's a test plan you can download and then use that as a checklist and check off everything that you already know. And then you are going to, everything you don't know that you didn't check off, you're going to go back to your study material and find the answers. Okay. Also make sure you have somebody quizzing you, just asking you random questions from your notes. Okay. And just remember, when you're taking the test, flag your difficult questions and then come back to those difficult questions later. Okay. Hey Jay. Jasmine says, so Jasmine, I need to check my emails. But I can give you my emails, khartcpr@gmail.com. I just have to check my emails. I work every day. And so it's just been super busy, but I need to check. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go in there tonight because I'm not feeling too well. I have a cold and I recently got off work, but I wanted to do this really quick while I felt like it, because I know probably not going to be able to do this another night this week. But it's still a little early, but I'm probably not going to tonight, but I will definitely check my email tomorrow. But it's khartcpr@gmail.com. And I'll try. If you tell me that you're going to email me tonight, I can try, Jasmine, but it's khart, HEARTCPR@gmail.com. I get a lot of emails from this channel, so please forgive me, guys, when you email me and I take a little bit. I get a lot of messages from you guys. Tyshawn says, hello, Miss K. Thank you so much. I've been at MX since 2013 and scared to test. I watched 480. What? Congratulations. That is awesome. Oops, I hit it. Congratulations. She got a 480. Listen, y'all, congratulate. So listen, the highest score is 500. So to get a 480, that is excellent. Congratulations. I'm planning on taking my test next month. I've been watching your study guide for CCMA. Good luck with that. I don't know how to, I don't even want to say your name incorrectly. So I'm just going to say your middle name. I'm just going to say Tracy. I don't even want to say the first name incorrect. So I'm just going to say Tracy. Hey, Tracy, good luck. Hey, I love cats. Is NHA material good for CCMA exam? When you say NHA material, I'm assuming that you're, do you mean the NHA study material? I love cats. If you're saying their study material, yes, but I am biased. I'm always going to promote my study material. So yeah, I actually so when I created my MA refresh course, I used the NHA test plan. I used a test plan for the RMA and the CCMA AMA to make sure I was covering everything that could possibly be on the test. So yeah, they do. It is, the NHA material is good for the CCMA because that is the test that they give. The NHA gives a CCMA. You're welcome, Fatil. Flawless is still trying to learn the inferent, circumference measurements. I think I have a video on, I have a video teaching you how to measure like head circumference. So you can check out that video if you haven't already, but it's pretty easy once you get it. The biggest thing is making sure you know how to read the ruler. Like I want you guys to make sure you know how to read that 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. Same thing when you guys are taking height. One thing I noticed with my students, a lot of students I get, they don't know how to read a ruler. They don't know the 1/4, 1/2, 3/4. They're like, what is this? Is this, I mean, they be naming, some random numbers, and I know it's because for some people they've been out of school for a long time and some people just never learned. But as medical assistants, I really want you guys to make sure you know how to read a ruler. Make sure you know that 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, because when you're measuring infants, it matters. Okay, it matters. Whereas when you check height on an adult, they can be 5 foot and 5 feet 2 3/4. It may not be as significant as when you're measuring a baby. Everything matters. Okay, so make sure you guys know how to read that ruler. You're welcome, Tracy. You're welcome. I love cats. Oh, thank you. I love cats. Thank you so much. So guys, I'm not going to stay on here long if you guys don't really have any questions. I just wanted to hop on here. I got off work. I had a little bit of time. I'm about to drink some Theraflu. I stay with a cold when it's cold outside. How is the weather where you guys are? Let me know. I remember I did see some of you guys are like in Texas in different places, but let me know if y'all are snowed in. I'm literally stuck in the house. Thank God I work from home. I'm 100% remote, so I am literally stuck. Some little boys in my neighborhood came and shoveled the back yesterday, but I am stuck. The roads are horrible. They did not. I mean, it snowed and then the ice and then the sleet on top of it. The snow is rock hard. So I am stuck in the house. But I was going to say I stay with a cold when it's like during the wintertime. I always got a cold. Pretty in the Mirror. Hey, Pretty in the Mirror. I like that name. Says I'm in pediatric care. Oh yeah. So you already know. Yes, you already know when you're dealing with the babies. Every centimeter, every inch, everything counts. You know, you have to be exact when you're dealing with the babies, because what they do between so once the baby is born and up until they are 36 months, up until they're 3 years old, they get their head measured, and they are the doctor, they look at what's called a flow sheet to make sure that that baby's development is where it should be. They compare it to where other infants are, and to make sure that that baby is growing the way he or she should. This is why it's so important. Accurate measurements in healthcare is so important anyway, but especially when you're dealing with pediatrics, and even like taking accurate weight, because even when babies get their weight checked, right, if they need medications, then their dosage is based on their weight. So it's just very important to have everything accurate in general, but especially when you're dealing with pediatrics. Ty says, thank you so much. Your tips gave me so much confidence. I took this exam 4 times due to power. Wow. They graded what completed before. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Ty. I've heard that happened to people, that they lost power and they had to take it again. I had one student, she was taking it. She came to school to take it online. And just because myself and the coordinator walked past in the background, they shut her test down. Like they don't play when you're taking it online like that. So I'm guessing you were saying you were taking it from home and you lost power, because when you're taking it like that remotely, they don't play. Like you can't even get your power back and then think you want to go ahead and test, because they think, I don't know, they just very strict. Pretty in the Mirror says 8 degrees in Cincinnati. Listen, Pretty in the Mirror, my daughter, she goes to school in Ohio. She goes to I don't know how close Cincinnati is to Dayton, but she goes to school in Dayton. She's home now. She's taking a break. But I do not miss that weather. It's about 8 hours for me, but when I would go visit, it is horrible. I do not miss it. And I know y'all snow probably was worse than ours. So Better said the ice is finally melting. Ours not. Oh, you went upstate New York. I could just imagine. Darlene says snowy in East Tennessee. Okay. Oh, y'all got it down there too? Freezing a mess. Listen, I love cats. Star. When I see y'all upstate, up north people, I already know y'all got it bad. I already know. I can just imagine, mess. I would never move north. I would never. This is the farthest north. Like y'all, when I tell y'all I've been wanting to relocate for the longest time, I would never go north. I'm trying to get away from this cold. I wouldn't be mad if I never see snow again. You're welcome, Pretty in the Mirror. Jasmine says, I've been watching your videos for CCMA. How exactly am I supposed to study them? Do I write them down or just watch? I really don't know. I've been doing it in May. Oh, Jasmine. Okay, that's a good question. And guys, feel free to chime into the comments as well. So if you use my videos to pass CCMA, do me a favor, chime in the comments as well for Jasmine. She just wanted to know, how do I watch your videos? How am I supposed to study? So I don't know how soon your test is. If your test is very soon, Jasmine, I usually tell people to focus on the open-ended questions, just to really quiz yourself and see if you know the information. If you got some time, just start from video 1. Just as you watching the videos, just kind of quiz yourself. Before I give the answer, I always wait a few seconds. So use those few seconds to test yourself to see if you know the answer. That's it. You can write it down. You can pause the video and write it down if you want, but I don't want you to write the questions down. I want you to write down the content. So like the options in the questions. So don't, write. I always use this example, syncope, right? If they say what a patient is, losing consciousness, what could they be experiencing? You might see syncope, MI, CBA, seizure, just to name a few. And I want you to, once I reveal the right answer, I don't want you to write down a question. I want you to write down the meaning of each of those wrong answers. So syncope, losing consciousness, some of the manifestations of that: fainting, losing consciousness. MI, right? Chest pain, shortness of breath, seizures, CBA, which is stroke. I want you to make sure you know what each of those means. So that's one of the things I will say about it. But yeah, definitely write that down, not the question itself. I always say don't focus on the question. As far as an MA refresher, go through that module by module. Again, if your test is close, like let's just say you get ready to take it this weekend, anybody whose test is close and you only have like a couple of days is coming up, yours is going to be different. If yours is coming up real soon, you want to focus on the modules where you struggle with, right? But if you got time, just start from module 1. That's it. So again, for those of you that got time, just start from video 1. If you got my MA refresher course, just start from module 1. But if you are, pressed for time, your test coming up real soon, then that's when you got my refresher course. You go by what you really need first, what you struggle with first, and then with the videos you do the open-ended questions. So hopefully that helped, Jasmine, and anybody else can chime in as well. I would be curious to hear that, though. For those of you that did use my videos to pass, how did you go about watching the videos? Like, what was your study method with the videos? So if you guys can chime in, that would be helpful for Jasmine, and I'm curious myself. Jenny says, I've been a silent follower. Hey, Jenny, I'm glad to hear from you. Thank you for your videos. I passed with a 414. Awesome. Congratulations. I'm glad to hear from you. Oh, you meant 2026. Okay. It didn't even hit me when you said 2016, because I'm like, hold up. Now that you mentioned the 2026 is what you meant. Yeah, that is true, because I wasn't around, not on this channel in 2016. I had another channel, but not this one. So I'm glad you clarified. Jasmine said it did snow here in Georgia. Oh, that's right, Jasmine. I remember you were on here before. What part of Georgia are you in? I know they got a little dusting in some parts, but a lot of people, they went to the stores, they emptied it, and I saw a lot of people posting that it didn't even do what they said it was going to do. Listen, y'all, in DC, in this area, it did everything it said it was going to do, but I know a lot of places it didn't. Ty said they lost power twice. Dang. And then I lost power twice. Dang. So you went twice. Oh my goodness. Sheesh. Dang it. She said, you know it. Can CCMA move you into lab assistant or specimen processing? I think so. It depends. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because as an MA, I worked for LabCorp. So I did specimen processing, I did phlebotomy. So I'm pretty sure you can. It just depends on the company. Like they may want you to be certified in phlebotomy, or they may want you to be a lab tech. So it just kind of depends. But I think so. In general, yes. I don't know if you guys have LabCorp where you are, or Quest, or any lab laboratory company you can try. Do I have to take all the NHA practice tests? I usually recommend to take one at a time, right? And then study in between each one. So you may take all of them, you may not. I know, like my coordinator with my students, he usually recommends them save at least one, just in case they don't pass the test. They have that one left over to take again. But then some people might say, well, I don't want to save it. I pay for it. I want to take all my tests, because if I pass, that's the goal. I want to pass. I don't want to have to, take it again. So it's just kind of up to you. But I recommend studying in between each one. So when you take your practice test, pay attention to your focus review. Every time you take a test, you get a score, and it's going to be a focus review to tell you the areas where you fell short. Don't take another test without going over your focus review and studying those areas, because if you don't, you're going to keep getting the same score. So this goes for anybody. As you guys are going through your practice test, Do not just go to the next one after you finish the first one. You have to study in between each one to make sure you get a better grade the next time. Miss K, I took CCMA last Saturday. Congratulations, Stephanie. Columbus. Okay, you in Columbus. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I know. I don't know how close Columbus is to Atlanta, but I know it's a lot of. I'm in some Atlanta groups on Facebook, and I know they were talking about it. They did not get. They got a little bit, but it wasn't what they were saying it was going to be. Todd said, any questions I didn't know the answers to without the multiple choices? I studied that part on the study guide. Exactly. So let me put that on the screen because that's a good tip too. Oh, let me click on that. Any questions that I didn't know the answers to without the multiple choice, I studied that part on the study guide. So make sure as you guys are going through, you're going through the practice test questions. If you don't know the answers without seeing the choices, make sure you go back to that area on the study guide. Okay. And your study guide may be my refresher course. Your study guide may be your NHA study guide, whatever that is for you. Okay, let me see. Can I say, okay. I just watched the videos on and off. Okay, so here's some people sharing what they did. Jasmine, I'm pretty sure you probably see it in the comments. But Jenny says, I watched your videos on and off leading up to my exam. The day before my exam. Oh, let me put it on the screen. I need a new laptop, y'all. My button is barely working. I just watch your videos off and on leading up to the exam. The day before my exam, I watch your videos for 12 hours. Thank you, Jenny, for the watch time. But sheesh, I didn't take notes. Just make sure to not focus on the questions. You need to focus on the information. That's the main thing I say in my videos, Jenny. Focus on the information, not the question. I'm still getting comments saying this question wasn't on there. I didn't say it was going to be. Focus on the content. I tell you guys over and over and over. Don't focus on the question itself. Well, my students, when we going through the NHA practice questions together, I'm like, and they want to take a picture. I'm like, don't even take a picture of the question, just the answers. Why OMG, hey, I'm having trouble finding my classmates' pulse when taking blood pressure. Any tips? Okay, so you're having trouble finding a pulse when taking blood pressure. So you mean the brachial artery? You're having trouble finding it? It's on the inner arm. I will tell you this, Deja. One thing I noticed with people, and they, I don't know, I'm not saying you do this, but this is one of the things that I noticed. It's hard for me to answer your question without being able to show you, Deja, but I'm gonna try. But one of the things that I noticed with some people, they have the stethoscope in the wrong spot. They'll have it like in the middle or on the outer arm. Remember, the brachial artery is toward the inner arm. So just make sure, if you haven't already, Deja, make sure you go to my YouTube channel and look at my blood pressure video, and I'll show you where to place your stethoscope. So that's one thing I will say, that some people are placing their stethoscope wrong. And then also make sure you can actually hear through your stethoscope as well. So it's hard for me to say, but yeah, just make sure you have your stethoscope placed correctly. Make sure you have your fingers placed correctly. And sometimes you got to feel around, because sometimes you may not feel the pulse right away. You got to kind of feel around, Deja. Even when you're taking radio pulse, like sometimes for some people, you got to feel around. Some people's pulse is not as it's not as strong as others. Some people have like a really faint pulse, and sometimes you got to feel around. So that's one thing I'll say too, is just kind of take your time and then try different classmates too. If you're noticing it with everybody, get your instructor to help you find it, and like I said, sometimes you got to feel around a little bit. You may not feel it right away. Stephanie says, I cannot emphasize enough how helpful your videos have been. Thank you. You're welcome. Also, skipping questions that I couldn't answer right away helped me so much with time management. Listen, let me try to put this one up here too. This is another big tip as well. Oh yeah, my button is really acting up on my laptop. I'm trying not to get a new laptop until I move. For those of you that don't know, I already announced it, but I'll mention it again before I end the video. But I want to read this again. She said the questions that she couldn't answer, she skipped, and that helped her with time management. This is so important. I can't tell you how many students I've seen ran out of time on their test. That 3 hours that you get when you take an NHA, it goes by quickly. Any question, Jasmine, anybody else, I can't remember the other person name that said there. I think it was Fatil that said they're taking their test on Saturday. I can't remember. Somebody said they're taking the test on Saturday. Any question that you have to spend time on, flag it, bookmark it. Even when you're taking your practice test, you know, on the NHA website or whatever test you're taking, flag it, bookmark it, come back to it, because your time will run out. But guess what? If you have answered enough correctly, you can run out and still pass. The worst thing is for you to run out of time and then you fail because you didn't answer enough correctly. Anything you got to sit and think about, come back to it. Okay. Also, having knowledge about OSHA and CDC guidelines. That's a big one. A lot of people don't think about that. That OSHA, like in just your regulations in general, OSHA, CDC, high tech, HIPAA. Make sure you guys know that. DEA, FDA. Make sure you guys can answer those type of questions, because you know, people, they focus on the clinical stuff, which is important because that's the majority of your test. But I don't want you guys to forget about the administrative stuff too, like your billing, your code. There's not a lot of billing and coding, just some, but accounting, some little questions like that, people tend to not think about. So don't forget about that stuff too, guys. And again, your regulations, your laws and your acts and your administrations. Okay, don't forget about that stuff. You should know what each act does. You should know what each administration does, right? FDA, DEA, OSHA, CDC. You should be able to answer all of that. I should be able to ask you, give me the 2 provisions of HIPAA, right? What does HIPAA stand for? What is high tech? What is clear? You should be able to answer all of that. If you cannot, if you're listening to me right now and you can't, and you're about to take your test, go find out. Life with Naomi. No, I'm not answering. Yeah, I'm answering questions now. Life with Naomi. Yep. I thought you meant exam questions, but I'm answering questions, but not exam questions. No. Jenny says, man, your blood pressure is my weakness also, but hopefully my new Littman. Oh, girl, you got the best stethoscope. Yes, yes. The Littman is going to get you there when it comes to hearing. Just practice, 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 practice. One of the things I have my students do outside of class, they have to do at least 3 people a week, 3 different people every single week outside of class. So I get my students to buy a brand new, their own stethoscope and blood pressure cuff, even though we have them in class, so you can practice at home. So practice, practice, practice. That's the best way to get it. I struggled with it as well when I was becoming an MA. Having trouble with cardio, the flow of the heart. Do I have, I don't think I have any videos. I don't know. You can check my channel, Shania, but find some animated videos. So Shania, that's a good question. Shania says I'm having trouble with the flow of the heart. And I'm guessing you mean maybe, I don't know if you mean the blood flow of the heart or the electrical conduction of the heart. But either way, Shania and anybody else, go on YouTube and look up some animated videos because that's what I would show my students. I love to show animated videos because they're fun, they're quick, and they make it easier to learn because they teach you like they're teaching a child. So try that, Shania. Okay, you taking a test on the 5th, Naomi. Okay, cool. Make sure you checking out my videos. Yep, flag it, Jasmine. What's mostly on exam because I take mine on the 5th. It's hard to say, but I will say this. When you look at your test plan, it shows you what's on the test. The majority of your test is going to be clinical. If you're taking the NHA CCMA, when you go to NHA's website and you download the test plan, you will see the majority of the exam is clinical. But it's hard to say what's mostly on it because some people get some EKG questions, some people don't. Some people get dosage calculations, some people don't. It is very hard to say. Some people get a lot of scenario. It's hard to say. That's why you want to go over the test plan and make sure you know everything on it. Because then if you know everything on the test plan, there's nothing that you could possibly see on the test that you don't know. Websites that's good to study from, marefreshercourse.com, Life with Naomi. I'm going to click on this. So my MA refresher course, I have the, matter of fact, I didn't put the link there, but on the screen, you'll see an example of how it looks when you get my MA refresher course. I have lessons and quizzes on there, and practice tests as well. So let me get that link here. I didn't even post it yet. Normally I post as soon as I come live, but I didn't. Let me get it here. Where is it? I'm having to use my touchscreen on my laptop because my button is acting up. So sorry for moving so slow, y'all. I'm trying to copy this, do all this with my finger because my button is acting up. Let me see. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna put the link for anybody that wants it. I know you just asked Naomi, but if anybody else needs the MA refresher course, I'm putting a link in the chat as well. Let's see. They asked order a drawer. My coworker took hers a week after me and had the same questions. You're welcome, Shania. So Better says, I'm in an accelerated program and this is week 3 for us. Okay. Am I in a good place to be studying for? No. I'm going to put this on the screen. So guys, this is a good question. She says, I'm in an accelerated program and this is week 3 for us. Am I in a good place to be studying for the NHA now or wait some? So the reason why I say wait is because when you try to study for the certification exam too early, you get overwhelmed. So I always recommend focus on your coursework. Even though you are in an accelerated program, focus on that first. It's already a lot that you have to do. The program that I teach for as an accelerated program is 12 weeks. So I know how much information is in it. So focus on all of that in your course. And then as you get toward the end of your program, that's when you start getting into certification material. For an example, my students, their class is 12 weeks. Their course is 12 weeks. By the time we get to maybe week 9, 10, that's when we are pretty much done with the textbook stuff, but we're getting into exam stuff. Okay. So for anybody else wondering the same, because I've got this question before, you know, I had somebody say, Miss K, I just started school. Should I start getting ready for the test? No. Now the tests in your course that's within your courses, yes, those tests and quizzes, of course, but the certification, please wait. Don't overwhelm yourself. By the time you get to the end of your course, you will feel more prepared for it anyway. Because when you try to go look something up for the NHA exam that you haven't gone over yet in class, it's going to be so hard to understand. So just pace yourself, focus on your coursework, okay? What about the RMA? Let me go back. I keep accidentally hiding these questions. Larissa says, what about the RMA? So I'm not sure what you mean exactly. What about the RMA? I think you're talking about like as far as a test plan or studying for it. So even same thing with the RMA. You can go to Google and Google free RMA test plan and everything, you check it off or highlight it. So you that's just indicating that you know it. Whatever you don't know on the test plan, just go back to the study material. My study guide, I use the RMA test plan. I use the CCMA test plan. I use the CMA test plan to create it. They all ask the same type of questions. So I wanted to make sure I did not miss anything. So I used those to make sure that my refresher course, it prepares you for any exam you can be taking. And just a hint, guys, and I say this all the time, some of you may not have heard me say it before, they all ask the same type of questions. I promise you, whatever certification exam you're taking for MA, they ask the same thing. If you don't believe me, download the test plan for each exam and watch the same thing is on each one. I even did a video on my channel comparing each one. I downloaded each one and I shared my screen and showed y'all. So just so y'all could believe me. Because some people like, Miss K, this for the CCMA, I'm taking RMA. I'm like, listen, they ask the same type of questions. I promise y'all. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't say it just to say it. It's the same information. The same thing the RMA has to know, the CCMA has to know, and the CMA, AMA has to know. So it's all the same information. Also, guys, my MA refresher course is for people who've been out of school for a long time. Oh, yeah. I have a pinned comment on YouTube. So those of you that's watching on YouTube can see the pinned comment. Make sure you sign up for the wait list. I'm going to have a membership that I'm going to be launching soon. I'm trying to move first. I'm in the process of moving. So it's a lot of things I need to do, but I want to move first. I'm in the process of relocating to Georgia. And so I'm going from DC to Georgia, a big jump. But I want you guys to join the wait list for anybody that's interested in getting some help outside of MA. If you need help like budgeting, finances, stuff like that, you want to start a business, join that wait list. So that way, when I launch it, you can be notified. So the link is let me see. Did I put it in? I might have to post it again. Let me come over here. Let me pull it up. For those of you, it's pinned on YouTube already. But for those of you that's watching on Facebook, let me pin it in the comments because you might, I don't know if I posted it. I can't remember if I posted it already on Facebook. And I don't want to scroll. Let's see. Dang it. I'm going to have to just post. Yeah, it's in the description of the video, actually. I did post it. It's in the description of the video. So that's that. So for anybody that's interested in some information outside of MA, you like, Miss K, I need help budgeting. I need some help because outside of medical stuff, y'all, that's what I do. So make sure you join that wait list for my membership. Can you tell me your email one more time? Yeah, kheartcpr@gmail. So KHEARTCPR@gmail. 10 weeks. Oh, wow. Yours. Oh, that's even more accelerated. Your program, 10 weeks. Sheesh. Okay. She says she watched all my CCMA videos. Perfect. I did the NHA. Last week got a 48%. Okay. So this is another good question. Not question, but a good comment because this is common. Somebody says, I did my NHA practice test last week and I got a 48%. I feel discouraged. So listen, I say the same thing to my students that I kind of expect that score to be that when you take your first practice test. Why? Because it's your first one. The goal is to see it get higher each time you take it. Okay. This is why I said take some time in between each practice test to study. When you take that test, you get a score and you get a score report, a focus review. Your focus review shows you what you need to study to do better for the next practice test. So that's fine. I get it. That's a low score. You like, dang it, I'm not ready. That's okay. That's what the practice tests are for. So what you need to do now, go figure out where you fell short and go study those areas. Do not take another practice test without doing that because you want to get the same score. Okay. So that's for anybody. I expect your first practice test to be low. That's normal. As long as you see it getting better each time, then you're on the right track, okay? Sandra says 15 weeks billing and coding. Okay. Oh, that's kind of well, then again, our billing and coding program is 12 weeks as well, but they get 2 parts. I don't know if yours is broken up like that, Sandra, but in our program, they get the beginners billing and coding, and then they get the advanced. So both 12 weeks, so all together is 24 weeks. Where can I go take the practice test for the medical administrative? So the MA refresher course link, if you go to MA refresher, I think the link I left is only for the clinical one, but if you actually go to marefreshercourse.com, I have the administrative one as well, and that one is $19.99 for 3 months. So I'll just put the link here. I'll just type it in the chat. marefreshercourse.com. And just make sure you click on the administrative practice test, not the clinical one. Or if you want to go directly to the site where you're taking the test, you can do that too. But I have one that I just left in a comment. Your NHA is Saturday. Oh, okay. So okay. So what you do, again, go to your focus review. And because you're not going to not take it, you still want to take it. I mean, unless you want to reschedule, you can. I mean, that's always an option. But if you plan to take it this Saturday, then you just have to go over your focus review, study your weak areas. And when I say your weak areas, I just mean the areas where you scored very low in. Not saying you're weak, but just the areas where you fell short in. Then you want to go over those items, and then you want to go take another test, okay? Or you can always reschedule. I'm good with you guys rescheduling. I don't like for you guys to cancel and just not take it at all. But if you feel like you need more time, by all means, just don't take too much time. From the way the NHA asks questions on the test, are they asked the same way? The same type of questions, no, but they do ask, yeah, pretty much the same way. But you may not necessarily see the same questions though. But yes, they pretty much ask them in the same way. That's a good question. You're welcome, Sandra. Okay, guys, I'm going to give it about another 30 seconds to see if any more questions come up. If not, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I did really good in phlebotomy, blood draw. So I'm thinking about also taking, yeah, definitely. Please do. This is another one I want to highlight. So guys, listen, when you take the MA, when you take an MA course, you learn phlebotomy in your program. So you absolutely can take the phlebotomy certification. I've had students take the MA program and like, Miss K, I want to sign up for phlebotomy next. What you doing that for? And you already learned phlebotomy. You already learned phlebotomy. Just go register to take the phlebotomy exam. That's all. So I really think all of you guys should do this. I say it all the time. Stock your credentials. Get your EKG certification too. Phlebotomy, all of that. So don't take the NHA phlebotomy course. Just get certified in phlebotomy because you learn it in your MA course. Don't waste your time or your money. Now, if you feel like I really just want to do that and get some more phlebotomy practice, then of course I'm not going to stop you. But just know you don't have to do that. Can you add your business website again? Which one's so better? Are you talking about the waitlist website? It's pinned on YouTube. Let me see if I can do it here. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I couldn't pin it. That's what it was. When I first went live, I couldn't pin it. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me post it again. I got you. I was trying to pin it when I first went live, but for some reason, I couldn't pin it. I got you. I'm getting ready to do it now. So better. So this is this link that I'm posting now, guys. This is for anybody who wants some help outside of MA. So outside of teacher medical assistant, guys, I also have other businesses that I'm in, and I help other people start businesses too. I help people budget, help with credit. So this membership that I'm starting, I'm going to be getting with you guys. We're going to be doing budgeting, credit, just everything, financing and leveling up. And sometimes I'm going to even have like a guest speaker coming in. I'm really big on finances because so much things that I didn't learn growing up. I made so many mistakes, and then I became a student of finances. And now I'm a teacher. Y'all know I'm a teacher. Everything I learn, I teach. So I became a student of finances maybe like in 2016. So ever since then, I've been helping people budget. I help people fix their credit. I'm not a credit repair specialist where, how some people, they write the letters. I don't do that. I look at your credit report with you and I help you better your credit, but I don't do the repair. I help people start business credit when they want to, get business credit for their business. I help people start a business. So yeah, I do all of that. And I'm an author too. For those of you that don't know, I've written 4 books. So if you want to write a book, I can help you with that. So yeah, I do a lot of things outside of medical. My last class was last semester, Sandra, and I don't plan on taking another class anytime soon, but I do still teach. I'm in the process of relocating from DC to Georgia. My job is remote, so I work full time. I do prior authorizations. So I was doing both. I was working and teaching. I mean, teaching is work as well, but you know what I mean? I was doing both. But my class ended, my last semester ended in November. And I'm not taking another class until, once I relocate down to Georgia, I'll look for some MA schools in the area. Or maybe I will, teach remotely. I find some remote schools. I do have a school in Texas that I work with regularly. I meet with those students every other Wednesday. So I still teach. And then, of course, YouTube. I'm teaching on here. So I'm always going to teach. So better since I'm interested in mobile phlebotomy. So I had a young lady on here, Crystal. We talked about that, but I'm going to have another person on here as well because I want to help you guys get into that as well. So I'm definitely going to have somebody talking about that because I get a lot of requests for that. Sandra says, why you leaving Maryland? Honestly, Sandra, one of the biggest reasons is the cost of living up here. I'm trying to buy a home that's not $1 million. It's ridiculous up here in DC. Like DC, I'm telling y'all, they got $1 million homes here. That's like row houses, no yard, no space, no garage, no nothing. It is ridiculous up here. Okay. So that's the biggest reason. Another thing is the weather. Like I want to go somewhere a little warmer. I know Georgia gets cold, but they don't get, all the snow like we get here. It's just, I'm just ready for a change, Sandra. That's why I'm leaving. I've been in DC, born and raised all my life. So I'm just ready to go, ready for new beginnings. My theme for this year, 2026, is new beginnings. And so I'm just ready for new beginnings. It's time. So that's why I'm moving. Thank you for asking. So yeah, guys, I put that link in the chat for those of you. I couldn't pin it because every time I try to pin it, it makes me click on it. So I couldn't pin it, but that's the wait list. I'm going to launch it soon. I'm in the process of relocating. So once I do that, then I'm going to launch it. Sandra says, so that's why my cousin was telling us we need to move. Sandra, remind me where you are. I think you posted it earlier in the chat. I can't remember, but it depending on where you are. Yeah, that might be the move. Now, the downside is that when you do move, the cost of living is cheaper down there, but this is why I end up working remote. So that way I'm going to still make what I make here, but I'm just going to be living in another state. Oh, you're in Maryland too. What part of Maryland you in, Sandra? Either way, I know it's higher than down there, but yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm trying to get my cousins. Funny you mentioned your cousin, because my cousins that I'm close to, I'm trying to get them to come down there too. I said, listen, when I get settled, y'all need to come down there too, because they want to buy a home as well. And it's just ridiculous up here. Like the homes that's like 300,000 down there, like up here it's like 600,000-700,000 up here. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, Silver Spring. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, Sandra. Yes, definitely. Asha, is that Asha? Says I have CCMA certificate, but they don't pay good. Asha, medical assistance is a profession that it just generally does not pay what we deserve, and it's something that has been unfair for a long time. Even nurses, like even though nurses make more than we do, and they should, their scope is wider, even they are underpaid as well. Teachers are underpaid. It's one of those professions that is unfairly paid less, but there are ways to make more, and sometimes there may be relocating. Sometimes you may have to, find a certain specialty or find a private office, or, that's a doctor that's willing to pay you more than what the big company pay. You know what I mean? It's hard to find, but good paying jobs are out there. Trust me. I've been able to have some good paying jobs, and my sister, she's been an MA for a long time. She does too, so they're out there. It's just a matter of looking for them. You can try recruiting agencies, let them know how much you want to make. And then too, the experience, you got to get the experience. It's just multiple factors. But yeah, MA in general is not fair, but it is one of those professions that's just underpaid, overworked and underpaid. I want to take the exam Saturday, see if I pass. I'm reading the sections. Okay, good luck. And make sure you keep in touch with me, Fatil. Let me know how you do. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, guys, I know I said it before, but I'm going to go ahead and go for real this time. Good luck with studying for EMT, Asha. You guys take care. Make sure y'all sign up. Let me put the link again in the chat for those of you that want to sign up for my wait list. I'm going to be launching a community very soon. We're going to be doing everything over there that's not medical assistant. Everything over there. Make sure y'all follow my other YouTube channel too. Don't talk about medical assistant over there. It's called Miss K all over the place. But if you come over there, don't be talking about Miss K, I passed. I don't want to hear nothing MA over there. It's other things. M is called Miss K all over the place. Okay. All right. Y'all take care. Y'all Have a good night. And I will try to go live again maybe this week. Try to do some study material. Can't guarantee it, but we'll see. Y'all take care.